First Contact and Brave Decision. The Terran exploration fleet had been venturing beyond Sol's protective embrace for just over 6 decades. Compared to the ancient civilizations that dominated the Galactic Council, humanity was but a child taking its first steps among the stars. Yet in those 60 years, Earth had established 17 thriving colonies and made contact with 23 different species. What humans lacked in technological advancement, they made up for with adaptability, innovation, and an unyielding determination that both impressed and unsettled their galactic neighbors. Commander Elisa Chen stood on the observation deck of the TEF Pathfinder, watching as the swirling azure atmosphere of Lyria Prime came into view. The ship's AI had identified unusual energy signatures emanating from the planet's surface, signatures that matched no known civilization in their database. Preliminary scans complete, Commander. Lieutenant Marcus Okafor reported, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic display. Breathable atmosphere, gravity at 0.9 Earth standard, and definite signs of advanced civilization. But there's something else. He frowned, adjusting the scanner parameters. I'm detecting weapons discharge across the northern continent. Massive energy signatures consistent with orbital bombardment. Chen's expression hardened. Magnify Sector 4, she ordered. The holographic display shifted, revealing the unmistakable silhouettes of warships in low orbit. Their design was instantly recognizable, the angular, predatory hulls of Kurok's Empire vessels. 7 Kurok's destroyers in attack formation. Tactical Officer Rivera confirmed. They're bombarding what appears to be civilian population centers. Chen had read the intelligence briefings on the Kurok's Empire, a militaristic species that had expanded aggressively over the last 3 centuries, subjugating dozens of less advanced civilizations in their path. Earth's diplomatic corps had been careful to avoid direct contact, knowing humanity wasn't prepared for conflict with such a technologically superior force. Open a channel to Earth Command, Chen ordered, her mind racing, and get me any information we have on the natives of Lyria Prime. Within minutes, Science Officer Dr. Annika Patel had compiled a preliminary report. The Lyrians appear to be a peaceful, highly advanced civilization focused on art, philosophy, and environmental harmony, she explained. Their technology is sophisticated but primarily non-military. According to initial readings, they possess remarkable capabilities in energy manipulation and quantum physics, but virtually no weapon systems. Exactly the kind of prey the Kuroks target, Rivera muttered. The communication officer's voice cut through the tension. Commander, I have Admiral Zhao on secure channel. The holographic display shifted to show the stern face of Admiral Zhao, his silver-streaked hair and weathered features reflecting decades of service. Commander Chen, your report is disturbing but clear. Your orders are to maintain observation only. Do not engage with either the Kuroks or the Lyrians. The diplomatic implications are too severe. Chen felt her jaw tighten. With respect, Admiral, we're witnessing the slaughter of a peaceful civilization. I understand your concerns, Commander, Zhao replied, his voice softening slightly. But humanity cannot afford to antagonize the Kurok's Empire. Their technological advantage is substantial, and Earth's colonies would be defenseless against full-scale retaliation. Maintain position out of sensor range and continue observation. That's an order. As the transmission ended, Chen remained motionless, staring at the planet below. The Pathfinder sensors continued to relay data. Death tolls rising, cities burning, a civilization on the brink of extinction. Orders, Commander. Rivera asked quietly. Chen turned to face her crew, her decision already made. Prepare for atmospheric entry. Alert medical to ready all facilities for civilian casualties. Tactical. Analyze Kurok's shield frequencies and prepare defensive countermeasures. Lieutenant Okafor looked up in shock. Commander, Admiral Zhao explicitly ordered. I heard the Admiral. Chen interrupted. And I'll accept full responsibility for what happens next. But I will not stand by and watch genocide when we have the power to intervene. She straightened her uniform. Sometimes humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our numbers. It's our refusal to accept injustice, even when confronting it might cost us everything. The bridge fell silent as the weight of her words settled over the crew. "Helm, take us in," Chen ordered. "Let's show the galaxy what humans stand for." The Pathfinder broke orbit, accelerating toward the azure world below. Chen knew she was potentially sacrificing her career, possibly even risking Earth's safety. But as the ship's shields engaged and weapon systems came online, she felt an unexpected calm. This was right. This was necessary. This was human. The Pathfinder descended through Lyria's atmosphere, its advanced stealth systems temporarily masking its approach from Kurok's sensors. The ship emerged from the cloud cover above a sprawling Lyrian city under heavy bombardment. Crystal spires, once reaching elegantly toward the sky, now lay shattered among gardens of bioluminescent flora. Kurok's ground forces were advancing through the outskirts, their energy weapons cutting down fleeing civilians. "Kurok's vessels have detected us," Rivera reported. "They're breaking off bombardment and moving to intercept." Chen nodded. "Open a channel on all frequencies." When the communication officer signaled readiness, Chen spoke clearly and with authority. "This is Commander Elisa Chen of the Terran Exploration Fleet vessel Pathfinder. The people of Lyria Prime are now under Earth's protection. Cease your attack immediately and withdraw your forces." The response was immediate, a barrage of energy weapons fire that rocked the Pathfinder. "Shields holding at 82%, Rivera reported. "Their weapons are powerful but predictable." Chen's eyes narrowed. "Target the lead vessel's weapon systems only. Show them our precision." The Pathfinder's newly developed quantum phase torpedoes launched, phasing partially through the Kurok's vessel's shields before rematerializing directly at the weapon emplacements. The resulting explosion disabled the destroyer's main armaments without breaching its hull. Again, Chen ordered, "Disable, don't destroy." One by one, the Pathfinder systematically neutralized the offensive capabilities of the Kurok's fleet. What the human vessel lacked in raw power, it made up for with surgical precision and unpredictable attack patterns that the Kurok's targeting systems struggled to counter. After the fourth destroyer lost weapons capability, the Kurok's commander finally responded. The alien's face appeared on the view screen, reptilian features with overlapping scales in hues of deep crimson and gold, eyes like polished obsidian. "Human vessel," the commander hissed, mandibles clicking in what intelligence suggested was rage. "You interfere in matters beyond your understanding. The Lyrians possess technologies that belong to the Empire by right of conquest. The Lyrians possess technologies they developed through their own ingenuity," Chen replied calmly, "and they have the right to determine how those technologies are used. Withdraw your forces now, or we will be forced to escalate our response." The Kurok's commander's eyes narrowed to slits. "This is not over, human. The Empire does not forget, and it does not forgive. You have made an enemy today that will haunt your species for generations." With that ominous declaration, the Kurok's vessels began retreating to a safe distance, their damaged weapon systems rendering them temporarily ineffective against the surprisingly capable human ship. As the immediate threat subsided, Chen ordered landing parties to assist with civilian casualties and establish contact with Lyrian leadership. The aliens they encountered were tall, willowy beings with iridescent skin that seemed to shift colors with their emotions. Their eyes, large, luminous, with pupils like sunbursts, regarded the humans with a mixture of fear, gratitude, and curiosity. The Lyrian High Council convened in a chamber of living crystal, the walls pulsing gently with light that responded to the emotional state of those present. Elder Vashan, his skin currently a deep blue tinged with golden ripples, addressed Commander Chen formally. "The people of Lyria owe you a debt we cannot repay," he said, his voice melodic despite the translator's mechanical rendering. "For generations, we have observed the galaxy's conflicts from afar, believing our isolation would protect us. We did not understand that our advancements in quantum manipulation would draw such aggression. Chen bowed respectfully. Earth stands with those who seek peace. But I must be honest. My actions today were not authorized by my government. I cannot promise what Earth's official response will be when the diplomatic fallout begins. Elder Vashan's skin rippled with patterns of understanding. Then perhaps we should give your leaders reason to support your decision. He gestured to another council member, who stepped forward with a crystalline cube that glowed with inner light. This contains the principles of our quantum fold technology, the ability to manipulate space-time in ways your scientists have only theorized. It could advance your civilization's development by centuries. Chen stared at the offered gift, understanding its value, but also the ethical implications. Technology should be earned, not taken, she said carefully. Elder Vashan's skin brightened to a luminous gold. Indeed. But knowledge freely given between allies is neither theft nor conquest. It is cooperation. The Kuroks will return, Commander Chen. When they do, both our peoples will need every advantage. Back aboard the Pathfinder, Chen faced the inevitable call from Admiral Zhao. His expression was thunderous as the transmission connected. Commander Chen, you have directly violated orders and potentially initiated hostilities with one of the most powerful empires in the sector. He began, voice tight with controlled fury. Give me one reason why I shouldn't order your immediate arrest and court-martial. Chen met his gaze steadily. Because in approximately 12 hours, a Lyrian diplomatic delegation will arrive at Earth with technology that could revolutionize our entire civilization. Technology they're offering freely in exchange for our continued protection. The Admiral's expression shifted from anger to shock. You're telling me these aliens are willing to share advanced technology? They understand something the Kuroks never will, Chen replied. True strength comes not from conquest, but from cooperation. The Lyrians have spent millennia perfecting the art of energy manipulation and quantum physics. They're offering us centuries of advancement, but more importantly, they're offering us partnership. Admiral Zhao's silence spoke volumes as he processed the implications. Sir, Chen continued, the Kuroks will return with a larger force. When they do, humanity will face a choice: stand with the Lyrians and other peaceful civilizations against tyranny, or stand aside and watch as species after species falls to conquest. You forced our hand, Commander, Zhao said finally, though his tone had softened. The Security Council is already in emergency session. The Kuroks ambassador to the Galactic Council has formally demanded your surrender and the withdrawal of all human presence from Lyrian space. Chen nodded, accepting the gravity of the situation she had created. And Earth's response. A ghost of a smile crossed the Admiral's weathered face. Let's just say your actions have sparked quite the debate. Return to Earth with your Lyrian delegates, Commander. History will judge whether today marks the beginning of humanity's greatest achievement or its greatest folly. As the Pathfinder broke orbit, leaving behind teams of human engineers and medical personnel to assist the Lyrians, Chen stood again at the observation window. The azure world grew smaller as they accelerated toward the jump point that would begin their journey home. Lieutenant Rivera joined her, datapad in hand. Incoming reports from across the sector, Commander. Word of our confrontation with the Kuroks is spreading rapidly. 3 other species previously under Kurok subjugation have initiated resistance movements. Chen nodded solemnly. And so it begins. Do you regret your decision? Rivera asked quietly. Commander Chen watched as the stars elongated around them, as the ship entered faster than light travel, carrying them toward an uncertain future. No, she said finally. For better or worse, today humanity showed the galaxy who we truly are. We didn't conquer, we protected. We didn't demand, we offered help. Whatever comes next, I can live with that. Little did she know that her single act of defiance would ignite a chain of events that would forever alter the balance of power in the galaxy and humanity's place within it. Galactic war and transformation. 6 months after Commander Chen's fateful stand at Lyria Prime, humanity found itself at the center of a rapidly expanding conflict. The diplomatic repercussions had been swift and far-reaching. The Kurax Empire, enraged by the human interference and the subsequent rebellion of several subjugated worlds, had formally declared war on Earth and its colonies. Now Admiral Chen, promoted for her exceptional judgment in first contact situations, according to the official record, stood on the bridge of the TEF Defender, Earth's newest and most advanced warship. Incorporating Lyrian quantum-fold technology, the vessel represented humanity's rapid technological evolution, accelerated by necessity and alliance. Kurax Battle Group detected entering the Proxima system, announced Tactical Officer Commander Rivera, now Chen's executive officer. 5 destroyers, 2 carrier vessels, and a dreadnought. Chen studied the tactical display with practiced calm. Proxima Colony, humanity's oldest and largest off-world settlement, housed over 4 million civilians. If it fell, the path to Earth would lie open. Status of civilian evacuation, Chen asked. 60% complete, Communications Officer Torres reported. But we need at least 6 more hours for full evacuation. Chen nodded. Then we give them 6 hours. She turned to the bridge crew. Battle stations. Deploy the fleet in defense pattern Theta. The human fleet had grown substantially since the conflict began. 27 Earth vessels now moved into formation, accompanied by 11 Lyrian ships and a handful of vessels from other species that had joined the alliance. Their designs varied wildly, from the sleek, organic lines of Lyrian craft to the crystalline structures of the Nithral ships. But all had been retrofitted with integrated defense systems. Open channel to all Alliance vessels, Chen ordered. When Torres nodded, she continued, "This is Admiral Chen. Today we defend not just a human colony, but a principle that all sentient beings have the right to self-determination. The Kurax believe that might grants them the right to subjugate others. Today we prove them wrong." The first wave of Kurax fighters launched from their carriers, swarming toward the defensive line. Alliance vessels responded with coordinated fire, their weapon systems enhanced by Lyrian quantum targeting that allowed unprecedented accuracy across vast distances. Incoming transmission from the Kurax dreadnought, Torres reported. Chen straightened her uniform. On screen, Supreme Commander Vex Karath appeared, his crimson scales darkened with age and his obsidian eyes reflecting the cold calculation that had made him legendary among Kurax military leaders. "Admiral Chen," he greeted, mandibles clicking. "The human who believes she can challenge the natural order of the galaxy." Chen met his gaze steadily. "There's nothing natural about conquest, Commander Vex Karath." The Kurax commander's scales rippled in what intelligence had identified as amusement. "Conquest is the way of the universe. The strong subjugate the weak. It has always been so." "Perhaps in your limited understanding," Chen replied. "But humanity has found that true strength comes from cooperation, not domination. Even now, your former subjects are joining our alliance, bringing their unique perspectives and technologies." Vex Karath's eyes narrowed. "Your species is young and naive. The Kurax Empire has ruled this sector for 12 millennia. Your temporary alliance will crumble when faced with the full might of our fleet." "Then by all means," Chen said, allowing herself a small smile, "show us this might you're so proud of." The transmission ended, and the real battle began. Kurax vessels advanced in traditional formation, their tactics refined over thousands of years of unopposed conquest. But they faced something unprecedented. A coalition of diverse species fighting with varied techniques and technologies, all coordinated by human tactical doctrine that emphasized flexibility and adaptation. The Defender rocked as Kurax energy weapons impacted its shields. "Shield integrity at 78%, reported Engineering Chief Dr. Katsumi Tanaka, the brilliant physicist who had worked alongside Lyrian scientists to integrate their quantum technology with human systems. "Initiate phase shift maneuver," Chen ordered. The Defender's engines glowed with ethereal blue light as Lyrian technology warped spacetime around the vessel. For 3 crucial seconds, the ship existed partially out of phase with normal space, allowing the Kurok's targeting systems to lose lock. When the Defender fully rematerialized, it had repositioned behind a Kurok's destroyer. "Target the propulsion systems and fire," Chen commanded. Quantum phase torpedoes launched, passing partially through the Kurok's shields before fully materializing at the target points. The destroyer's engines exploded in a cascade of energy, leaving the vessel drifting and vulnerable. Across the battlefield, Alliance ships employed similar tactics, using technologies that complemented each other in ways the Kuroks had never anticipated. Lyrian vessels manipulated local spacetime to create gravitational eddies that disrupted Kurok's targeting. Nithril crystalline ships absorbed and redirected energy weapons back at their sources. Human vessels, incorporating elements from both allies, performed maneuvers that Kurok's tactical doctrine classified as impossible. But the Kuroks were not easily defeated. Their vessels, while less advanced in some areas, possessed overwhelming firepower in numbers. For every Kurok ship disabled, an Alliance vessel suffered critical damage. 4 hours into the battle, the tide began to turn against the Alliance. The Kurok's dreadnought, thus far holding back from direct engagement, moved into firing position. Its main weapon, a gravitational compression cannon, could theoretically collapse a small moon. "The dreadnought is charging its primary weapon," Rivera reported, voice tense. Estimated firing time: 2 minutes. Chen's mind raced. "Dr. Tanaka, could we use the quantum fold drive offensively?" The engineer's eyes widened as she grasped Chen's implication. "Theoretically, yes. We could create a localized fold in spacetime directly inside their weapon chamber. The energy backlash will..." "Do it," Chen ordered, "and inform all Alliance vessels to prepare for immediate fallback to secondary positions." The Defender's engines diverted maximum power to the experimental drive. The ship shuddered as it generated a quantum fold projection, targeting the precise coordinates of the dreadnought's weapon chamber. "Fold projection established," Tanaka reported. "Energy signatures from the dreadnought are becoming unstable." On the tactical display, the massive Kurok's vessel began to show cascading system failures as the artificially created space-time anomaly disrupted the delicate balance of its compression weapon. Secondary explosions rippled across its surface as containment fields failed. "All vessels, withdraw to safe distance," Chen ordered across all channels. The Alliance fleet pulled back just as the Kurok's dreadnought's weapon chamber collapsed in on itself, creating a brief but intense gravitational singularity that consumed much of the vessel before dissipating. What remained of the once mighty flagship drifted in pieces, systems dead, its surviving crew fighting for survival. The remaining Kurok's vessels, witnessing the destruction of their command ship by technology they couldn't comprehend, began an orderly but definitive retreat. As damage reports came in and medical teams treated the wounded, Shen received an unexpected communication request from the Kurok's High Command itself. Grand Marshal Zex Korath, supreme military leader of the Kurok's empire, appeared on the view screen. Unlike Commander Vex Kareth, his scales were pale gold, marked with ceremonial scarification that denoted his elevated status. "Admiral Chen of Earth," he began without preamble, "you have done what no species has accomplished in 12,000 years. You have defeated a Kurok's battle fleet commanded by one of our most experienced leaders." Chen remained cautious. "We defended ourselves against unprovoked aggression, Marshal. Nothing more." The Kurok's leader's mandibles clicked slowly. A gesture intelligence suggested indicated measured respect. "The Kuroks do not recognize the concept of unprovoked aggression, Admiral. The strong take from the weak. It is the natural order." "Yet here we are," Chen replied. "Perhaps it's time for the Kuroks to reconsider what constitutes strength." Zex Koroth studied her for a long moment. "The High Council has authorized me to offer terms. A cessation of hostilities. Recognition of your alliance territories, not aggression. Chen raised an eyebrow. Not peace. Peace is a concept for the philosophical, not the practical. The marshal responded. We offer recognition of your strength and the establishment of boundaries. In time, perhaps more. After the communication ended, Chen gathered her senior staff. They're offering terms because they're afraid, Rivera pointed out. Our quantum technology renders their traditional advantages obsolete. They're adaptable, Chen countered. Given time, they'll develop countermeasures. This isn't capitulation. It's tactical repositioning. Dr. Tanaka nodded in agreement. The Kuroks have survived for millennia by knowing when to consolidate rather than expand. They're reassessing humanity's threat level. Chen leaned back in her chair, considering the implications. Then we accept their terms while continuing to strengthen our position. The Alliance has proven that cooperation between diverse species creates advantages no single civilization could develop alone. 2 weeks later, representatives from 27 species gathered on Earth to formalize what was being called the Concordiate, an alliance of free worlds united by mutual defense and technological exchange. The signing ceremony took place in the Great Hall of Unity, a structure built with architectural elements from each member species. Admiral Chen, now appointed as Earth's representative to the Concordiate High Council, stood on the podium alongside Elder Vashon of Lyria and leaders from other founding worlds. 6 months ago, a single human vessel made a choice to defend a people they had never met. Elder Vashon addressed the assembly, his skin shimmering with patterns of solemnity and hope. That choice revealed a truth the galaxy had forgotten, that diversity is not a weakness to be conquered, but a strength to be embraced. Chen stepped forward when it was her turn to speak. Humanity entered the galactic community as newcomers, unsure of our place among ancient civilizations. Today, we stand not as conquerors or subjects, but as partners in a new vision for the future, one where each species contributes its unique perspective to create something greater than any could achieve alone. As the ceremony concluded and the formal alliance was established, Chen found herself gazing through the crystal dome of the Great Hall at the stars above. Somewhere out there, the Kuroks were undoubtedly regrouping, reassessing, planning for the next phase of a conflict that might span generations. But they would face not just humanity, but a growing coalition of civilizations united by a revolutionary idea, that the galaxy's true strength lay not in domination, but in diversity. A aide approached, offering a datapad. Admiral, preliminary reports from the Joint Research Initiative. The Nithral crystalline propulsion theories combined with Lyrian quantum manipulation and our engineering approach have yielded an entirely new form of faster-than-light travel. The scientists are calling it Harmony Drive. It's reportedly 3 times more efficient than any existing system. Chen smiled as she reviewed the data. And this is just the beginning. On the edge of Kurok space, Supreme Commander Vexkarath stood before the High Council, his once proud posture now humble in defeat. The humans do not fight as we do, he explained. They do not seek to overcome through superior force alone. They adapt, they incorporate, they collaborate. Each species in their alliance contributes unique capabilities that complement the others. Grand Marshal Zex Koroth considered this with characteristic calculation. Then perhaps we too must adapt. For 12 millennia, the Kuroks have conquered. Perhaps it is time to consider alternatives. In the darkness between stars, the galaxy watched and waited. A new age had begun, sparked by a single human commander who chose to defend rather than observe, to protect rather than conquer. The balance of power had shifted, not through overwhelming force, but through the radical notion that diversity and cooperation might be the greatest strengths of all. On the observation deck of Earth's orbital diplomatic station, Admiral Chen gazed at the stars, contemplating how far humanity had come and how far they still had to go. The Concordiate was growing. Technologies were advancing at unprecedented rates, and species that had existed in isolation for millennia were now sharing knowledge and resources. Was it worth it? Asked a familiar voice. Chen turned to see Lieutenant, now Captain, Rivera joining her at the viewport. Chen smiled, watching as a Lyrian vessel gracefully maneuvered into docking position, its hull shimmering with the quantum energies that had changed everything. Ask me in 100 years. Together they stood in companionable silence, watching the stars, not as conquerors or subjects, but as members of a galactic community that was just beginning to understand what might be possible when diverse civilizations chose cooperation over conflict. The galaxy would never be the same again. And perhaps, Chen thought, that was exactly as it should be.